Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ITM University Online. The webinar for the day is a topic that is going to be very interesting. Interesting not because of the fact that I'm telling it is interesting, it's because of the fact that it is going to be of use to your daily, everyday parlance. The topic is 6 Thinking Hats by Edward de Bono. Now, what is the 6 Thinking Hats? And what is this Edward de Bono going to tell us about the 6 Thinking Hats? Now, every day we have a lot of difficulty in decision making. Every day we go to meetings, we might be so much congested with meetings, we might run into meetings into midnight at times, skipping our days, meals, lunch, dinner, and we really get, the word is pissed off with the difference or the criticality of decision making. Now, Edward de Bono is what do you rather say, a person who is a PhD and who has done his MD in philosophy, medicine and psychology, and he is a Rhodes scholar. He has really come out with a strategy which helps you to think in such a way that your decision-making capacity is really better. Now, this is a world-renowned consultant, Mr. Edward de Bono, and is author of 62 books and in 40 languages. He is the originator of 6 Thinking Hats, lateral thinking, and the direct attention thinking tools. Now, how did Edward de Bono get this idea or the concept? Now, he was just trying to analyze the literature, and he understood that Socrates, a person who focused on negativity. He always thought negative. Whereas Plato is a person who saw the shadows of truth in almost all the things that he saw, as well as when he spoke about Aristotle, he is a person who looked for the facts and figures. So, when analyzing the different personalities, he understood that these most renowned personalities had different ways in which they looked at a particular problem. And with this, he originated his thought process of 6 Thinking Hats. Now, this has results around the world, and it is in use by many of the largest and the most successful organizations worldwide, and it works well in almost all the different cultures in the world and applied to all levels and across all disciplines. So this is a well accepted model. And what is the basics of this model? I would rather say that the use of this particular model is not only in decision making, it helps in problem solving, it helps in strategic planning, and it helps in running meetings and much more. The research says when you apply a normal meeting, which is very plain and drab and sober, imagine that it takes 1 hour. With the application or the well utilization of 6 Thinking Hats, that meeting can be cut down in time to 8 minutes. That is the effectiveness of the use of 6 Thinking Hats. Now, the origination or the origin of 6 Thinking Hats starts from 6 colors, that is white, which stands for neutral or being objective, red, which stands for the emotions, the black color, which stands for seriousness or sober, and the yellow color, which stands for the sunniness or being positive, and green, which is the nurturing of the growth and fertility, and ultimately blue, which is cool and the sky above. Now, it is from here that the 6 colors of the 6 Thinking Hats has originated. Now, the 6 Thinking Hats concept is something like this. We have maybe it's a discussion or a group discussion or a problem that we have in front. We would like to look at that problem at different angles, and we say that we put on the hats and we view at that particular problem. Now, it is just a figurative usage that we wear the hats. When we say that we use the 6 Thinking Hats, what we mean is that we think in that particular angle. Now, I'll try to explain what each color signifies and what each hat signifies. The white hat stands for objectivity, facts and figures. The red hat, when you put on the red hat, you have to think in emotional sequence or with feelings. So when you have a problem in front and when you're putting on the red hat, you have to look at that particular problem in an emotional angle. When you wear the black hat, you are the devil's advocate. You be cautious and you be careful. You look at that particular problem and find the disadvantages or the negatives of that particular problem. The yellow hat signifies hope, positive, and you look at that particular problem with the advantages of it. You find the advantages when you wear the yellow hat. When you wear the green hat, you think out of box. It is about creativity, ideas, and lateral thinking. Finally, there should be somebody who control the entire thought process, and that is a blue hat. The people who are wearing the blue hats, they act as controllers and organizers of thinking. So this the 6 thinking hats really helps you to look at one problem in 6 simultaneous different ways. Now, to make it much more broader and simple and clear, when you're wearing the white hat, you look at that problem and try to find out the facts and figures of the problem. Now, let me put a problem in front of you. Let us take this discussion as, should children under the age of 15 take mobile phones to school? Now, this particular problem, I would rather say, let's discuss from why wearing the hats, using the Edward de Bono 6 thinking hats. The white hat, when you wear the white hat, you can look at this particular problem by looking on the facts and figures, like how much amount of students are taking mobile phone to school, and what is the percentage of the children that have negative effect because of this, and how many of them are really being benefited out of it, what are the percentage of harmful effects. You look into the different mix and match combinations of the positives, negatives, out of boxing, everything, and looks into the figures, facts, etc. Collect maximum facts and figures as possible. When you put on the red hat, you think emotionally. You can think emotionally from the side of the children. You can think emotionally from the side of the parents, teachers, everybody. Maybe from the parents, you can think like, oh my God, I really require my child to take it because if he gets lost, if he gets late, if he need to do some projects and all, let him use his mobile phone. The teachers might find that if the child is late or any problem happens, you can really, he's really reachable. And for a student also, he feels comfort, he feels relieved, he can exchange messages, he can look for some data information for this project, studies, etc. in his mobile phone in real time. That is the emotional part of it when you look into the red hat. When you put the black hat on, you focus on the caution part, negative part of it, to be the devil's advocate. You can put your arguments like children should not take mobile phones to school because it is not at all required. Mobile phones can it's really create negative thoughts and really takes them to their virtual world. They really get confined to the virtual reality, and they do not interact with friends. They don't talk to friends. Most of them become zombies kind. So they can put on a lot of disadvantages of it and think with caution. So you can find more. But when you wear the yellow hat, you have to think, it's also called sunshine hat because it is yellow in color. Think positive and constructive. You think positive about it as if like, it helps them to do their projects. It helps them to communicate. It helps them to look into the webinars online while they are on the transit. A lot of benefits out of it. So that is the beauty of the yellow hat. Green hat is about creativity. The people who are wearing green hat can even speak like, why to take mobile phones? They can have cameras at the school so that the parents can really monitor them if they really want to see what their childs are doing. They can put the coin box somewhere in the college so that children can really use them rather than carrying the mobile phone. On the worst case scenario, you can, if you really want to see what your child is doing, if you really want to see where your child is, really want to track them, you can go for biochips. Now that is just a worst case scenario. I was just trying to say that this is the thought process of a green hat, which goes for creativity and out of box thinking. Blue hat, they are the control hat. They really control the entire sequence of discussions. So with this, we come to the conclusion of 6 thinking hats by Edward de Bono. The 6 thinking hats once again is white for information, red for feelings, black for caution, yellow for benefits, green for creativity, and blue for control. So when you have a problem in front of you, when you want to make some strategic decisions, when you really want to come out of some have felt it of some very problematic conditions, use the 6 thinking hats by Edward de Bono and make sure that all your meetings get shrinked in time when you use them effectively. Practice this, make your life beautiful. Thank you. This is Jitin Benedict.